There you go. Well, welcome everyone to our military spouse, women entrepreneurs, home-based business on how to start a social media company and also a virtual assistant services company. We are very delighted to continue conducting this incubator or accelerator in partnership with the Oceanside Chamber of Commerce, SCORE, and we have a guest additional partner, which is the U.S. Chamber of Commerce on the Hiring Our Heroes program. So we're very excited to get started. And we're recording this session for those who expressed that they were not able to log in for whatever reason. And we'll send this recording to you, which will be posted on our YouTube page. And that way you can view it. One of the most important parts of the program, of course, is the learning that you are receiving. But the other part is the component of the mentors, the SCORE mentors. When we go through and we start a company, having mentors who know the ins and outs of the business is key. And having one-on-one sessions with the mentor is crucial to the success of the business. As you probably know, or if you don't know, you'll know now. I'm a faculty member. I teach entrepreneurship for classes for universities and colleges, and I'm always, I can provide so much knowledge into a class, but it's not until they go into pursue the actual business and they get a mentor, they actually become very successful on starting their business, because it's more of a completing the task rather than just learning the task. So that's what we want. We wanted to create this incubator, accelerator with focus on women, stay-at-home moms, military spouses, and anybody else who want to share, who want to join us. But that's our main focus. And one of the reasons was that military spouses, stay-at-home moms, or people who are entering the market, they want to take control of their own destiny. They want to dictate when they want to work, how much they want to work, and be in control of that, and have the power to decide and determine who the clients are going to be. And that resonates with me very well, because we're grown-ups and we like to do what we want. And I love that. So, and with military spouses, because they change so much from station to station. So keeping a job for a long term is almost impossible, whether their spouses are in service. So we wanted to give them a way to keep a business approach that will go anywhere in the world or anywhere in the nation, and they still be able to function. So that's kind of the reason why we're doing this program. So that being said, I'm gonna kind of start with introductions, and we'd like to introduce you our three presenters today. One is Melinda Ramirez, who is an alumni of this program, and she'll talk about that. And then Tammy, she's also our social media assigned mentor. We have SCORE mentors for business, but we wanted to have specifically a social media mentor. So Tammy will do that. And then we have a guest speaker, which is Adrien from a Hiring Our Heroes program for the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, which as the National Veterans Chamber of Commerce, one of the things that we love to do is collaboration. And everybody knows that. We like to collaborate, we like to partner, and we like to open and create win-win opportunities, because this world only works if everyone wins. We don't appreciate one-way winning. We encourage win in both directions. And that's why we collaborate with partners. We open our platforms, we open our knowledge and our connections so everyone can access, and we share the access everywhere. So collaboration is our core foundation. So I would like to start with Melinda, and if you can share your screen so you can start with your presentation, that would be great.
Okay, perfect. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Awesome. Well, first off, thank you so much, Joe and Tammy, for having me here. I'm excited to share my experience as a graduate of the program. And hello, everyone. Me siento muy excited to be here to talk about my experience as a military spouse. I said muy excited, muy emocionada, or very excited to be here because Jennifer Lopez starred in Selena, which is one of my favorite movies, and she said that famous quote. So before we get started, I love to hear either in the chat or since we're an intimate group, if we have one or two brave people tell me what is their favorite movie. So you know mine. If you're brave enough, you can unmute yourself, introduce yourself, and say your favorite movie.
The Godfather.
Ooh, that's a good one. The original? There's so
Of
many.
course, that's the only one. Yeah,
I see.
all three.
God, to the trilogy.
Oh
Adrien?
yeah.
I mean, Gone with the Wind was always my favorite. I know it's been controversial recently, so I've changed my perspective on it a little bit, but the book was always my favorite.
Got it. And do we have another brave person that wants to jump on? Miss Yolanda in the grass that we had talked about? You're unmuted, Yolanda.
I think Ray is my favorite movie.
Great. Jamie Foxx did an amazing job. Well, thank you everyone for sharing the favorite movie. So the reason why I chose Selena, because she was an amazing artist with a beautiful voz, or in Spanish, that translates to English meaning voice. For this purpose, I'm going to be talking about vision, opportunity, and zeal. So Selena had this amazing voice and had a vision to cross over from the Spanish market to the English market. And she wanted to share her journey as a family member going into a band, then being a solo artist. She took advantage of all of her opportunities from a kid, performing at local restaurants, malls, all different places, to becoming a superstar. And she did everything with zeal and with passion. So that was very important to me. And I want to share my story about how I felt very lost when I first joined the military world. I thought that I had lost my voice because in the middle of COVID, my husband and I got married. We relocated from New York to Tennessee. We had a baby. I had postpartum complications. So I was just feeling very lost, very lonely, and didn't know what to do. And I was so fortunate to come across this opportunity that helped me not only find my voice, but amplify my voice, which is my vision, opportunity, and zeal. So for today, I'll be talking for about 15 minutes or so, then open up the last 5 minutes for us to get to know each other, ask questions, and of course, I'll be able to support with follow-up information so you could reach out to me afterwards. Like I mentioned, you see that beautiful mic with Selena. She's known for her red lipstick, and I have her red lipstick on from MAC. Um, but I want to start with my why, because I know Joe covered that in the beginning session, and he asked, "Well, what is your why in doing this?" And in my head, I was like, "Duh, to make money, right?" But he said, "You know what? Your passion is what's going to keep moving you forward with a purpose when you're having a lot of hard times. The entrepreneurial mindset is going to keep you going when things get tough." So that made me start thinking I need to dig a little deeper. My why ended up being, when I started really thinking about it, my ancestors' why. So I'm Puerto Rican and Dominican, also known as Dummy Rican. You could see my family, Dominican, Puerto Rican. You see my parents, my dad's Dominican, my mom's Puerto Rican. You see me in my very Hispanic outfit. I thought it was really cool to honor Hispanic Heritage Month by bringing that photo out. But
Good job.
my why is because my ancestors came to this country to better their lives and to give their future generation opportunities. And one big thing with the American dream is to own houses and businesses and freedom. And that was always preached to me with education and opportunity. So my why, yes, is to make money, but it's really because my family made so many sacrifices. I want to be able to do that for my future daughter right now, my husband, my future kids. And like Joe said, having an opportunity to take my business with me wherever I go is something that is beautiful. It allows me to feel a little bit more in charge of my career. and still balance being a mama. So I feel like I'm a mama making it happen. Opportunities, as I mentioned before, just like Selena started from the beginning and had her work her way up, education was my way of opportunity and so was business. But how I went from there to social media management was because I was fortunate to have a lot of opportunities and a lot of mentors. So I started off with high school with the National Academy of Finance, thought I wanted to go into business, thought it was too much work, and I was like, nah, I'll just go into teaching. So I went to Marist College, which is in Poughkeepsie, New York. I was fortunate to be a graduate of a higher education opportunity program. They gave me a lot of resources academically, financially, social, emotionally. I graduated top of my class with a bachelor's degree and a master's degree. Thought I wanted to go into teaching, started teaching, and then ran into Marist Liberty Partnership, which is an inner city program helping students with workforce preparation, college prep, dropout prevention, and then also helping out my community through the Hispanic Alliance for Career Enhancement, doing business consultation. So all of that said, my opportunities, I had a vision. I wanted to do something to honor my family's American dream. How do I tie in business with education? I was so confused, especially during the middle of COVID, where I had to, I feel, reinvent myself. So as you can see, there's my husband, there's me pregnant, a baby. We moved to Clarksville, which is the Fort Campbell area. So we're kind of in between Kentucky and Tennessee. Again, the reinvention was key because I was like, how do I stay home? How do I still make money? How do I run my business? How can I teach? This opportunity with the home-based business came about, thankfully, because I joined the Blue Star Family Spouse Force Group. If Laura Torres is going to end up watching this, I want to give a big shout out to her because she was posting like crazy. She talked about these amazing programs. I signed up for this. I saw the National Veterans Chamber of Commerce, white label marketing, just like you all saw the promotion. I thought, great, I'll learn how to run my own social media business when I want to do my consulting business. Little did I know that it meant you could be a social media manager at home managing other people's business. So I was like, oh, wait, I could do skills later on when I'm ready to do my educational consulting business. But at the same time, I could help other businesses market their business. So I was like, this is a win-win. Sign me up. How to make this happen. All in all, I also was in charge, in contact with SCORE mentors. So shout out to SCORE if they're on here listening. But I wanted to, as I was learning how to become a home-based social media manager, also learn about how do I run my consulting business. So very ambitious, but a little lost. And the benefits are what kept me going. So Tammy had asked me to talk about what are the benefits of being a social media manager. As you can see, my baby girl, Isabella Zahara in the picture, is my #1 assistant. Having the ability to be able to raise my daughter in the comfort of our own home, especially in COVID, is really important to me. Having the flexibility to deal with everything that's going on in the world, my husband's military intense schedule really was a great benefit and a productive use of what I already have. I have my phone, I have my computer, my internet. I was already on multimedia platforms, might as well figure out a way to make money doing what I already kind of knew how to do, just need to learn better skills to help other businesses. Of course, some income. Work experience was key for me. I was honestly afraid, oh my gosh, in the middle of that 1 year, our employer's going to start talking about that gap. I know a lot of women, especially women of color, have really had the she session, left the workforce. And I was afraid that, hey, when I get out back out there, am I going to be looked at as, hey, you haven't done anything. What are you doing with yourself? So I felt like this is a great way for me to learn new skills like data analytics and business development at the comfort of my own home. I really want to talk about how amazing Tammy has been from White Label Marketing. The one-on-one coaching that she has given me has been amazing. I was so intimidated to try something new. She literally from start to end and ongoing has been so responsive with phone calls, video chats, emails, texts, you name it, she's been there to hold my hand the whole entire way. Also, the platform for white label marketing has amazing video tutorials, a detailed process where you want to meet with clients and ask them what their needs are, there's an assessment in there. There's a contract template. There's even business cards, flyers, and promotional videos. So you can literally go from having hardly anything to this whole database that has everything that you need to start up your own business. For me, that was an easy no-brainer. Like, oh, I could just edit and put my logo and my name on there. Perfect. It looks professional. It's already on there. Awesome. Also, the support was a huge benefit from the Veteran Chamber Commerce and SCORE. Joe has been amazing, even on vacation. When I was going to go talk to a prospective client, he talked to me about a memorandum of understanding. He was able to help me draft something up and give me feedback. And who does that nowadays? You know, who really invests in people to help see them grow? Their investment in me is why I wanted to come back and share my story, because I truly believe that they will set you all up for success. And I hope that you take your journey and utilize that to help other businesses and other people along the way. And of course, SCORE is amazing. SCORE gives you connections. My mentor from SCORE helped me with one-on-one. She has put me in touch with another social media person. She's put me in touch with a branding person. So for me, as a new person feeling lost, I had a community at my hands virtually who just came together and lifted me up. And that was such a huge benefit for when I was feeling like I was lost. So that's why I say they helped me find my voice. And now I'm amplifying my vision, my opportunity, and zeal to help other businesses and help other people. With that said, I said I was going to be honest and talk about the challenges. So my personal challenge was just my confidence. I went from being this businesswoman in New York and successful to COVID happened, the world shut down, had a baby moved, and I was just like, oh my God, how do I start something brand new? Can I do that? And of course, I kind of believed in myself, but I was afraid, to be honest. But finally, I decided to let the fear move me forward. And I think Joe had talked about that in my first session. That mindset, what's your passion? What's going to keep pushing you when you're coming against challenges? Push past that fear is key. So, again, that mindset was there. A struggle for me is always work-life balance. My home is my office, so my baby girl's here, my clients are here, just managing everybody, but taking time for myself is really important. But it's always a juggling act, just like the picture says. Um, Marketing my services and learning how to use multi-platforms for social media. I know Joe will go over more tips, but it's just, you know what, be brave enough to ask for support from Tammy, Joe, Adrene, and anybody else from SCORE that could help out. Utilize them to get you confident enough to get you out there. I promise you, your work, your effort will actually be displayed. Once you start doing a good job, your work will speak for you, people will vouch for you, and you can get out there with more confidence. Um, then at the end is just managing clients' expectations, their needs, contracts, all of that stuff is in white label marketing. It's very clear, black and white. It could be as in depth as you want, or you can scale it down to what you want to do. Again, Joe and Tammy are amazing to help guide you. So I definitely suggest tapping into them. And the income, if I'm being honest, I want to start off small. I know what I could only handle as a couple of clients and the workload with my daughter. As I become more stable and more confident, I'll take on more. So I believe the income will match the passion, will match the amount of energy. So even though it's a challenge right now, it's worth the investment because, like Joe said, wherever I go, my business goes. And I think that's important to me. And to wrap up, that's why I do everything with zeal, with passion, because I thoroughly believe in empowering people and businesses to achieve their goals. I do everything with a passion for my family. There's my daughter and my husband. And again, I do everything to honor my ancestors and my community. I think that's important to answer what is your why. So it's more than just the money, right? It's about the vision, opportunity, and zeal or passion. So with that said, here's a little bit of my contact information. You could feel free to email me. I'll put that in the chat. You can find me on LinkedIn. I'm part of the graduate family, so whatever I can do to continue to support you, feel free to reach out to me. I definitely would love to give back. So with that said, we have a few more minutes. Is that correct, Tammy and Joe? About 5?
Yes.
Okay. I would love to hear from people since I see a few more joined on. If 1 or 2 people could tell me what is your vision and opportunity that you could take advantage of through this program and your zeal or your passion.
Maybe we should just call on people. Put them on the spot.
Let's see who's brave enough. I think we see somebody muting. Nope, going on and off.
They were just joining, I think.
Is that Sonia? Oh, okay.
There we go.
Sonia, you're
Okay.
joining.
Yeah, I think what we should do is probably unmute everyone, Joe, and then that way they can just respond.
Yeah, anyone can self-unmute.
Okay.
Yeah. But I
Sure,
think
and if you don't,
Alan,
go ahead.
Melinda's question is really important for everyone to kind of think about, because Melinda took a lot when our first session in regards to the mindset, and I love it the way you actually thought so deep about it and went through the whole thing and realizing that your main why was internal. Your main why is internal. Your family, your ancestry, your daughter, your husband. So your family is your why. And that's really top 5, awesomeness, because people can have, and initially we talk about, money being a why, and money is not a why, not money is a result of the why, because money comes. Making money in business is very, very easy. It's just knowing what it is that we want to do. And now that you know what you want to do, and I love that you are taking an approach of starting small, growing your passion as organically as possible, based on your capacity, based on that. I think it's extremely smart, But and I think learning what that is on the why, when that why from people is key, because that is 90% of the business, is knowing why you want to do what you are doing. It's 90%. Everything else we can teach you. Everything else we can coach you on, or coach anyone on. But knowing what it is that you want to do and being realistic about it, making, a $10 a month, or making $100 a month, or making $10,000 a month, all those things are possible based on the reach and the organic effort that we put into it. So people ask me sometimes, people always have, because when National Veteran Chamber of Commerce is we want to give you $5 million. Or what if someone give you $5 million or $10 million for your organization? Like, why would I want that? I don't want that. So it's what is it that motivates people? And I think greed is the ugly ghost in business. Greed is the ugly ghost in business, because if we have a positive drive to do what we want to do, you will succeed. You will succeed. And success is not about how much money I have, because even the millionaires look down on the millionaires, which is kind of weird. And then the millionaires look down on the rich people, which is even more weird. So money is not a gauging of success. I think success is internal. It's how you feel about what it is that you have and what you have been accomplished. And what you're talking about right now, Melinda, is you're really describing your bridge, your path of success. So you are successful already. Everything else is just in the horizons, bound to happen. And by the way, Melinda was able to, Melinda has a contract with the National Chamber of Commerce for a statewide contract. And she's been doing social media for us, and we'll continue to work with Melinda, because Melinda's 100% awesomeness.
Thank you.
My hat goes off to you. And our goal, and when I said before, is win-win is always our approach. If our goal is to have contracts for all of you, so you all have, ability to work and help you get your own. Because one of the things, whether it's $1 or whether it's $1,000, having contracts, achieving those contracts, fulfilling those contracts becomes a habit. It's a habit, kind of like taking showers and drinking water, drinking wine or smoking or whatever the habit is, it becomes a habit. So success is a habit. Happiness is a habit. It's not something that comes from the outside. It's something that grows within inside. And that habit is important to cherish. So again, whether you make $1 in your first contract, doesn't matter. Whether you make $1,000 in your first contract, it doesn't matter. What matters is that you're learning the way, you're learning the path on how to make it. And soon you get more and more. Our first grant, if I'm allowed to say this here, was just a merely $5,000. And we got on a first year of operation. And oh my gosh, I was flipped because for us it was such an accomplishment. But that has triggered more and more and more. But it's never been about how many, because we don't charge anything for membership. So all of you who are military spouses, all of you who are connected to the military, whether you're a military spouse, whether you're a son or a daughter or a mom or a dad, you are welcome on the chamber. And we don't charge membership. So we don't make money on membership. But we want to encourage, empower people who want to do more for themselves because they have the right reason. And so I've been, so thank you, Melinda, for the presentation. I really appreciate the kind words that you have for us and for SCORE and for everyone who's working with you, and look forward to continue working with you. And
absolutely. Thank you so much for the opportunity. I feel like once you find and amplify your voice, get that community with Joe, Tammy, and everybody else, the money will follow, but in the hard work, success will come. Thank you, everyone.
Absolutely. Thank you, Melinda.
I'll put in my email for future reference.
Yes, and we want to email this presentation to everyone and make it available. So that way, either you can contact Melinda directly, or you can just through the chamber contact, and then we'll put you in contact with Melinda. And you can stay on if you want to, or if your baby calls, family first. It's always the 2 F's first.
Thank you.
Family first. And yeah, and family first and free first. Everything we do got to be free first. And then, but anyway, so now we're going to move on into our next presentation, which is with Tammy on Facebook. And you have access to your PowerPoint, and you have access to this share screen.
I do. Thank you. All right, so we are going to cover, for those of you who were here last week, we are actually going to cover the Facebook portion, which was, they were actually supposed to, they were going to cover that last week, and the presenter came down ill and with COVID. And so he was not able to make it. And so I was going to come today and talk to you about multi-platform use and stuff like that. But I'm here, and I'm going to go ahead and cover Facebook for you, and we'll go from there. I don't have too much time, so I don't want to belabor it, but we'll just go ahead and get going. So basically, anytime that you are working in social media, and for those of you who joined later, my company is White Label Marketing. We're in partnership with the Veterans Chamber of Commerce to help those who want to start social media businesses, providing coaching and resources and things. Melinda talked a lot about it, which was very sweet. Thank you so much. But I'm not here to talk about White Label, but I'm just introducing myself for those of you who arrived late. So anyway, so basically, when you're talking about social media, you're going to have always, you're going to have your channel, if you want to call it that, your social media platform that you are just primo on. Everybody has one that they're great at, and then the others they need to work on. So last week, Joan, one of our presenters, covered LinkedIn, which is a super important platform if you're wanting to work with businesses. So the idea of being a social media consultant is that you are, or social media manager, is that you are offering to businesses that you will handle their social media. So most businesses are going to be in LinkedIn, Facebook, or Instagram. And learning about Facebook does give you insights into Instagram, but it's a little bit different. But we're going to go ahead and cover, since Instagram is still mostly personal and not so business related, most businesses are in Facebook. I think it's about 3.8 billion Facebook users in the world, which is about half of the planet. So Facebook is a really important one. If you love doing Facebook on your own at home, and that might be a great channel for you to get started in as a social media consultant. So best practices they're pretty simple. I only have 5 tips that just to keep it super simple, and we're going to provide you with this PowerPoint afterwards. But basically, the first one is kind of a compound. How do you get engagement in social media? And that is to follow, interact, and be social. Okay, so when you are trying to manage someone's social media, you need to like other pages. It seems counterintuitive because you're trying to promote your client, but part of that is getting involved with other experts, complementary services that might be offered, and other local businesses in the area where your client is, especially if they're a retail service, or they have a brick and mortar business. Then connecting with other local businesses in that area it's going to really help your client. So each time you follow a page, they receive like a notification. They're, instantly, you are putting yourself out there in front of other customers, and the likelihood of those businesses or their followers liking your client's page increases. So also, you want to interact. So not just liking and sharing, but you also want to go in and make comments. You engage to get engagement. That's just how Facebook and actually most social media works. When you interact, I say that you're interacting, but you're interacting on behalf of your client. When you're a social media consultant, you actually go into your client's social media and you interact as them. So what you're doing is you're showing that your client is interested in what other businesses and other people have to say, and it grows your client's overall following, and also creates a goodwill. Because if you are liking and sharing for another business that's complementary to yours, the likelihood of them liking and sharing yours is also. In fact, you can actually create like and share campaigns with other businesses. So say you have 4 businesses in a downtown area, they can all become friends, follow each other's pages, and then commit to liking and sharing each other's posts. And that will branch out your following. And so with people who are interested in businesses in that area. So it's actually a really great way to do that. And that happens through interacting with other pages. Also just being social. It's so easy to just post things and then to never follow up. But if you can respond to users' comments kindly and sincerely, it shows that your client cares. So you actually become, as a social media manager, you become the representative of that client out in the social media world. And so you want to engage with their customers and with their prospects in ways that that helps your client, right? Helps your client learn more about the interests of their customers and deliver on what their customers actually need. Another best practice would be messaging voice and tone, which is super important to help your client decide the type of voice they want their business to have. Do they want to be corporate sounding? Do they want to be casual sounding? Do they want to be somewhere in between? And then, a super important question to ask them is, does their voice represent their brand? And as a social media consultant, that's your job, is to help them. If they don't already know the answer to that question, if they can't already decide what their voice should be, that's your job, is to figure out how to help them find their voice, which I loved what Melinda shared. We hadn't talked about what she was going to share, but that's literally it. What you do with people, it's empowerment. At empowerment, you help other people find their voice. And that's what you need to do as a social media consultant with your clients. If they don't already know what their voice is, you need to help them do that, because you will increase their following, you'll increase their profitability, and that's what they're hiring you for. So, so you want to also be just checking if your client's voice resonates with their prospects. That's important. They may choose a voice and it may not represent the group that wants to buy from them. And so that finding that balance is really super important. Also, once you establish a voice that you believe is it resonates with their prospects and it represents their brand and who they are, you just stick with it. You don't always see immediate results, and that's okay. You just keep sticking with it. You stick with the voice and the tone that works, and it will pay off in time. Just like everybody's been saying, that organic effort. So another one of the best practices, which I kind of already said, was to be engaging, but I mean engaging in content. And that is going to be by actually crafting postings and different types of connections. You're going to want to do that in order to drive engagement and drive conversation about your client. So you also want to have a way to monitor how your posts are doing, what days and times are working best for your clients' customers. When do they most respond? When do they most repost? When do they share? You want to be able to monitor that stuff. You need those analytics because they help you to amplify your client's voice. So some of the things that you can do to make posts engaging are things like asking questions. You can create fill in the blanks. And some of these things you're going to recognize from Facebook if you've used it at all. It's like, oh, people do this all the time, right? So bright, colorful images, photos, video, that kind of stuff is huge, and showing the human side of your client's business. And that is where the seamless integration between Facebook and Instagram, that's where you're really going to shine, because you can actually, anything that you can do for Facebook that's bright and colorful, photo, video, it's human, it's showing kind of behind the scenes stuff, is going to go over well on Instagram as well, because that's kind of what the Instagram audience is looking for, is more of that behind the scenes insider information. And it's all about photos. It's all about video. It's all about stories. So another thing that you can do is you can create special offers. If you're, like I said, if your client is a retailer, you can offer coupons, deals, different kinds of, a 20% off coupon that can be offered through social media, so that it drives more customers to your client. And that can happen even if they're online, as long as they have product. You can actually create sweepstakes, contests for them to enter, anything that creates like a share and a like, and that drives that kind of interaction. Then also hashtags. Hashtags are, oops, Daisy, I just went backwards. Let me go back one more. Okay. Hashtags are amazing and overused. And so you want to be wise when you're using hashtags. Okay. And you'll see sometimes, I mean, like you see the Instagram post that has like 25 hashtags in it. And that's good if your hashtags are relevant. Okay. So basically, if you don't know what a hashtag is, I mean, most people do, but if you don't, it basically is you put the number sign in front of a word that doesn't have any spaces, and that group, that word or that group of words becomes searchable. It's searchable, and it grabs your information, your posts together with other posts that share the same hashtag. So example would be like if you wanted to post about the World Series, hashtag or number sign World Series. And then any posts that are about the World Series would all show up together as people are searching. And it displays a searchable link of all the other posts that have the same hashtag as that. So what you want to do is you want to use relevant hashtags that reflect your client, reflect the branding, but hashtags that are in use. I mean, where it's going to actually benefit your client and cause your client's company and what your client's doing to get out in front of more people. So one couple things you don't want to do with hashtags. You don't need to use a hashtag in every post. It's not required. Also, you don't use irrelevant hashtags just to try to show up in results. Trying to show up in a result, people can tell if something doesn't fit. So you want to make sure that whatever hashtag it is that you're using, your post has to is representative of that in some way, or you use the hashtag people who love dogs, and and it's about a customer who's a restaurant. Okay, well, that's not really relevant. But if this restaurant offers the little doggy bowl outside and they give you a picture of someone dining with their little dog drinking out of the bowl, okay, people who love dogs is relevant. So it's more about making sure that your hashtags are relevant and they're not senseless or useless, like hashtag amazing, or hashtag yep, or hashtag I don't know, right? So like there's some hashtags that are just useless. They're not saying anything, they're not doing anything. So avoid trying to use those just to have hashtags. And then I think this is the final thing, would be just to have a healthy mix of posts. We have our platform offers auto-generated content, but then there's so many other things that you need to do in order to have a successful marketing campaign, especially in Facebook. And so you always want to stay fresh and you want to stay engaging and do different types of posts. So some would be like telling people, your clients' fans, their followers, what's going on, what's new with that business is one way that you can, is one kind of post. You can ask questions. You can post the photos or the images or memes, but you can also share posts from an industry expert or another local business, and shout out. Shout outs are awesome. You can take polls of different things that your clients' current customers are interested in, and then publish the results. And people are interested in following those things. Like I said, you can offer deals or specials or have a contest. Fill in the blanks also does work, because it just people can't help themselves. They just want to respond. And then also acknowledging special holidays, national holidays, local things going on, just making mention of those things is going to create a breadth and a depth in your marketing campaigns that will bring in a lot of different type of people. And that's what you're wanting. You're wanting to increase followers for your clients. So, so basically just a basic recap. You want to follow and interact and be social. Like and share campaigns are a great way to do that. You want to help your client find their messaging voice and tone that they want to use that not just resonates with their brand or represents their brand, but it resonates with their customers. You want to be engaging, literally reaching out and trying to get information, trying to get people to respond. And there's different ways to do that. Getting the client out in front of more people through hashtags, but doing that intelligently and wisely. And then also having a healthy mix of posts so that you can bring in a broader client base for your customer. So anyway, well, that is the presentation on Facebook. I hope that's been helpful. Joe had mentioned we're going to make sure to give you these PowerPoint slides so that you have access to that, and you'll have my email address on there if you're interested. You know, Melinda mentioned a little bit about White Label just being a platform. Oh my gosh, one thing I wanted to tell you about too. So if you start out working for a customer and the only thing you're going to do is Facebook and Instagram, check out Facebook Business Suite because it's a free app. It's amazing. It's a great way to just like launch in and kind of get your feet wet and start doing somebody's Facebook and Instagram. And you can post, you can schedule posts, you have to create all your own content. And there's certain other things that you can't do, like the contests and, you know, the sweepstakes and deals. And those are a little bit more challenging, but it's an amazing way to get stuff not only on Facebook, but also then over to Instagram. So because it's seamless in Facebook Business Suite, and getting your clients on that app. They don't need to be on the app because you would be their admin. Once you become their social media manager, you become the admin of their accounts, of their pages, and then you have the app and you can access their pages and do all that through there. Once you branch out into multiple platforms, so like you want to do LinkedIn and Instagram and Twitter, and then you need to find a solution for that. White Label is one solution. We're in partnership with the Veterans Chamber. We provide all kinds of, like Melinda was mentioning, all kinds of coaching and things like that to help you get started. We're happy to help you. We love Mill Spouses; they rock. And so anyway, but yeah. So thank you so much for your time, everybody. I'm going to go ahead and close this. And I'm done, Joe, and you can take it from there. Well, Adrienne is next.
Yes, I'm gonna do that in a minute. So okay. Yes, so just to recap, and thank you, Tammy, for covering the Facebook part of it. And just to summarize this part, because when we run an organization, like I run the National Veterans Chamber, I don't want to know everything. I don't want to do my own taxes. I don't want to do my own bookkeeping. I don't want to do my own marketing. I don't want to learn all those things because that would be crazy. So as executives and as people who run their own companies, they need people like you. We need people like you. On, and even more now. Before it was just put in the newspaper and see it goes. But nowadays, is a newspaper, is a magazine, is a social media, is a LinkedIn, is a Facebook. Now there is TikTok and oh my gosh, all that stuff. And no, I'm not going to do TikTok. But it's just so much stuff out there that the business that you're in right now is hot. It's something that people are going to need more and more every day. But one thing that we wanted to do this from the beginning, is that what is the channel, whether it's Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok, whatever it is that you enjoy working in, and that's what we want you to start. Everything else you can learn later, but if you're good on Facebook, stick to Facebook. If you're good on LinkedIn, start with LinkedIn. If you're good with Instagram, stay there. If you're good with Pinterest, whatever it is that you are good at, stay there and start from there. That's your starting point. Now, what we did was, we partnered with White Label Marketing, and we actually purchased, the chamber purchased the system. So as you start your business and you're going into multiple channels, you don't have to pay anything. You can just use it based on the program. You can just use the program to get you started, to get you with your clients. And as you get paid, as your clients pay you, then you can start basically branching on your own and start covering your expense with White Label Marketing. But initially, we covered that. We wanted to give you that. So we invested that money to get that initially. So that's one thing they wanted to kind of contribute and share, because I think this is a great business. And it's a business that you may be thinking down the street. This is not a business down the street. This is a business that you can do for anyone. Like Melinda speaks Spanish. So Melinda can do the same thing for companies in Puerto Rico, in South America, in Chile, in Jamaica. And if you speak French, you can do this in France. If you speak Latin, there is no country for that. Sorry, Latin is out. But if you're, any English-speaking countries, Ireland, anything like that, you can. Or we speak German, you can. So there is no limit. There's there's really no limit but when we have ourselves. And one thing that I want to emphasize that Melinda also talked about is that pushing through fear. Fear is normal. Fear is like being hungry. We just feel hungry, we feel fear. We feel uncomfortable, and that's just fine. But the moment we eat something, we're okay, right? We have lunch, we're good. Same thing with fear. The moment we pass that veil of fear, we're fine. Like Melinda's totally fine now. She's so comfortable and did an awesome presentation. Same thing with Tammy. It's like pushing that, going over that little fear. And that's the bridge that we provide for you, is just making it so you take those baby steps, to take those steps to let you know that what you're walking on is solid, is firm, and is at your own pace, and you will go along the way, and then you can take off and do whatever you want as you move forward. So, but just wanted to thank Melinda, thank Tammy for the presentations, and now we're going to move into Adrienne and talk about our guest speaker, which is Hiring Our Heroes, and she'll talk about, because the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, of course, is based in Washington, and they cover a lot of the typical, traditional business, but they also have components for veterans. So, and like I said earlier, we always love to partner with organizations, veterans or non-veterans, who are bringing value to our community. So with that, Adrienne, I made you a co-host so you can share your screen anytime you like, anytime you're ready. And then
Perfect.
There you go. There it is. Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. Can you tell I do lots of these?
Yes.
Thank you so much. And just to kind of piggyback off what Joe, you were saying, I tell everybody, if I'm not a little bit afraid of what I'm currently working on, then I'm stagnant and I need to find that little bit of push. So as Joe said, my name is Adrienne Wyke. I'm a senior manager of workforce development on the military spouse team at Hiring Our Heroes. I work with military spouses on a daily basis, occasionally the veteran team as well. I am a military spouse and a veteran myself. I was active duty Air Force, met my Air Force husband. Luckily, he retired last year, so we're living that sweet afterlife, but I have been a part of the military life for the last 14 years and now have dedicated my career to being a part of it as well, because I can't step away. So Hiring Our Heroes, we just had our 10-year anniversary. The U.S. Chamber of Commerce noticed a need. And of course, that started with veterans until we realized there was even a bigger need for our military spouses. So we do have two teams, one that works on the veteran side of the house and one that works on the military spouse side of the house. And all we've been doing is growing. In fact, we thought the pandemic would slow us down, and we have more than doubled in the last year. So as Joe said, we also work with partners. We collaborate quite often. We have so many amazing partnerships, from USAA to the SBA to the Rosie Network, just a lot of resources. So a big thing we work on is not trying to recreate the wheel, maybe fill gaps where we find them, but pull in those individuals that are already experts in their field. So we do hold a lot of hiring events. And as you can see by the numbers between 2019 and 2020, again, we have grown, and that was even pivoting to a very virtual platform when we had to halt in-person events. We have gone back to having a hybrid schedule. So we currently have some in person and some virtual, but we saw the value in the virtual events because you guys showed up. Our numbers grew so much, and we realized that it was a platform that was helping our spouses that maybe couldn't make it to an in-person, or they were overseas, something like that. But like you guys, I've experienced all those career pivots, and sometimes you just need to find the resource that fits best for you to help you get to that next step. And I know I only have 10 minutes and I could talk hours on all the programs that Hiring Our Heroes has. I'm going to touch quickly on just a couple. And Amplify is one of our biggest programs. We're just about to hit our 5-year anniversary. So Melinda, I'm taking your word here, Amplify. That's what we do. We work to amplify and give our military spouses a voice. So it's a 2-year, oh my goodness, hopefully not 2 year, 2-day career intensive professional development course. We go through things like LinkedIn, resume, interview tips, all your typical professional development courses that you would see at most events. However, the difference is they're pretty intimate, even though we can have up to 50 spouses every single month that join us. We really work hard to inject heart into what we do and provide a safe space for our military spouses to come and talk about their frustrations, talk about those walls that they're hitting, and talk about what direction they want to go. So really, it's about just peeling back the layers and figuring out, okay, where are you at? What's your next step? How do we make a strategic goal or roadmap to get to where you need to go? Most of our spouses that attend our Amplify sessions, about 80% of them have a master's degree or higher. So as I'm sure most of you know, we're becoming very overeducated and very underemployed. So that's something we work on both ends with our spouses and with our employer partners to advocate for our military spouses, to get them to understand that the gaps in the resume or the diverse resumes don't mean that they are not the most amazing potential candidate for their organization. So Grow is another event that we started recently. I believe we've only been doing this for about the last 12 months. It stands for Grassroots Recruitment, Opportunity, and Workshop. So they have been held virtually. We're starting to do them in person, and they are also for military spouses. It's like a mini kind of hiring fair, a way to bring our spouses and employers together. We do have military spouse professional networks too. If you would like to know if one's in your area, that is on our website, or you can reach out to me, but we have more than 60 chapters worldwide, but they are run by volunteer military spouses. So if you get to an installation and there's not an MSPN and you're like, hey, I really would love to bring this here, we would ask you to become a volunteer and start one. But how it works is that it again allows the military spouses to have that space to talk about what issues locally that they're having. And then the MSPN leads work with the local community, employers, to help to bring those resources to the MSPN spouses. So every month they will hold different events. It could be a LinkedIn seminar. It could be an employer they've engaged with that's going to talk about an upskilling opportunity, something like that. So they're amazing. Those lead to our MZs designations. And there is an MSPN and an MZs in the San Diego area. So our MZs is our Military Spouse Economic Empowerment Zone. When you have a strong MSPN, we can then start to create a working group under our MZs, which has 3 pillars to hire, train, and advocate for military spouses. So these are done in collaboration with local organizations, for example, like the National Veterans Chamber and other chambers of commerce. And then we pull in employers as well that are willing to advocate for our military spouses. So with that, we also have our hashtag Discover the Talent. So if you ever have an employer that says, hey, I'm really interested in kind of what you guys are doing, maybe some of the programs, or just designating myself as military spouse friendly, they can go and register under hashtag Discover the Talent. There's marketing involved in that we provide to them, but it also gives them an opportunity to engage with our military spouse dashboard that has resumes and direct access to those spouses that are seeking employment. And then it also allows them the opportunity to look at all the projects and programs we have going on and maybe identify something they're interested in so that they can get in touch with the right person. That's kind of all the slides I have. So I don't really have too many slides because, like I said, I could talk for hours on what Hiring Our Heroes does. What I will do is I will just drop our website in the link. We do have quite a bit coming up, as I said, as we gear up for more in-person events. So fingers crossed, but we are coming to San Diego in October. We'll be there. I think it should be the 20th and the 21st to hold an in-person Amplify event. So if you are interested, again, it's a great way to just maybe work on your elevator pitch, talk about public speaking, network with employers, or even each other. It gives you guys a good space to just kind of get together and talk. So I think we're just now solidifying the location, and it will be in like the San Diego area. So originally it was supposed to be on Camp Pendleton, but I know they have some COVID restrictions going on right now that would have limited our attendance numbers. So I'm also going to drop in here all of our events. This just goes by date, and you can scroll through and see everything we have. We do have virtual hiring events as well, and some of them are specific to industry. So if there's a specific industry you're interested in, you'll be connected with employers that work or hiring in that industry. So I will also add my email in here. So if you have any questions or just want to talk, I'm always happy to. It's pretty easy to find me on LinkedIn too. While Joe wraps up, I'll add my LinkedIn.
Okay.
But I'm super quick to answer usually emails or my LinkedIn. So please feel free to reach out, and good luck to all of you on your journey. I'm hoping to see a few of your names and hear about some of your success.
Well, thank you very much, Adrienne. And we are part of the the group in San Diego. So we participate in that, and
That's great.
so yes, and we work with Hiring Our Heroes in other events when Camp Pendleton was open, and so we always willing to support and collaborate. We are also hoping to create and finalize the MOU with Hiring Our Heroes and the U.S. Chamber to become more involved in growing the process. One of the things that we have is we certify employers as veteran-friendly or military spouse-friendly employers. It's one of the things that we do when we got out. All of us go through the same process. I mean, I thought it was just myself when I was coming out, but we all had that. A lot of people had that challenge. Where do you go? How do you connect? Who is willing? Who is just saying they're willing, but they're not willing? So we always looking for employers who want to put the label, put the seal that they are ready, willing, and able to hire veterans and family members for their organization. So we give them a designation. So, but anything like that, it will be great for us to collaborate on. So thank you very much for Adrienne for the presentation. Are there any questions on things that we have covered today?
A quiet group.
Very quiet group. Okay. Well, no worries. I mean, things sometimes we think the questions later. So our next session will be conducted next week, 2:30 p.m. Pacific time. We're going to be focusing on your business plan and also the financial projections. How do you know that you're making money? How do you know that you have your financial goals set and how you are reaching that goal? And as you'll learn next week, setting financial goals is backwards, and we'll teach you how to do that. It's really simple, but you just have to invert the bottle in order for you to make it easy. So looking forward to seeing you next week, 2:30 p.m. I will send invite again. And again, thank you, Tammy, Melinda, Adrienne, for your presentations. And Adrienne, we have a meeting coming up next week. Looking forward to that. And then Melinda will talk later about the next assignments. So thank you, everyone. Have a great week. And if you have any questions, just send a reply to us on the email that I'll send you. If you want to connect with Melinda, with Tammy, or Adrienne, I'll be happy to put you in contact with them. So thank you and have a great evening.